Assalamualaikum and greetings. Welcome to Choral Speaking Competitions 2024. I'm your state level technical officer, Mohamad Azrai bin Daud. This is my friend here.
I am Mohamad Mokhtar.
And today we're going to be talking about choral speaking competitions, and I'm going to explain to you a few things that you need to know about choral speaking. All right, the presentation focus is going to be highlighting 3 points: definitions of choral speaking itself, you have to know the meaning of it, highlights of the concept paper, and tips for teachers. All right, this is a bit lengthy, but you need to know this. Choral speaking is actually the interpretations of poetry or prose by a group comprising anything from a half dozen to 100 speakers. It can be 100 speakers. It involves a full and varied use of the individual voices that makes up the group. Okay, they may be the divisions of the whole group into light and dark voices, broken and unbroken, male and female voices, treble, bass, and so on. Okay, individual voices may be used as solo as well. If you can see here the highlight point, the bold point, light and dark voices, meaning to say that this is very important. You have to be able to show that the difference of voices in the range of your own voice when you're trying to deliver the choral speaking competitions. All right, next. For eligibility for primary school, we're talking about year 4 to year 6 pupils, and year 3 pupils are only allowed if the school
Is under
enrollment. From government aided school, and for secondary school, for Form 1 to Form 5 pupils from government aided secondary schools. Selections of text. The selections of text may be in the form of poetry and short prose. Text should preferably be original and authentic. You will be having a very, very good advantage if you are able to produce a very original script and be able to steer your own script. Participants are not allowed to refer to any notes or printed materials during presentations. Material presented must not touch sensitive issues such as race, religion, stereotyping, politics, and etc. Failing doing so, your marks will be deducted, or in the worst case, you will get disqualified. Performance duration for primary school, it takes up to 4 to 6 minutes, and the marks will be deducted thereafter. Same for secondary school, 6 to 8 minutes, and the marks will be deducted thereafter. So you have to be able to plan and design your choral speaking script and suit the time given, 4 to 6 minutes for primary, and for secondary, 6 to 8 minutes. Judging criteria is the most looked factor when you try to design your script and design the choral speaking itself. Subject matter gives 30 marks. Articulation gives 30 marks. You'll not be getting higher marks if your students are performing with slurring and not clear voice. And for the voice type, it gives 10 marks. Okay, this is what I told you just now about the range of the voice: dark, light, soft, hard. All right. Rhythm and timing, it gives 10 marks. Sorry. Sound effect, 10 marks. General demeanor, 10 marks. And penalty will be deducted 5 marks if you have done something like, wrong. All right, next. Decisions. Judge will collectively determine the placing by a clear majority vote. Usually there will be 5 to 8 judges that will be judging your performance. So they are all experts in their field. Usually when the judge is judging the performance, they will surely prefer to look at the concept paper and will look at all the criteria that I've mentioned just now. The decisions of the judges is final, no appeal is allowed. Individual marks will not be disclosed. Attires. This is interesting. Participants should be in formal school uniform only when competing, all right? Additional props are not allowed during competitions. The conductor may use glove. All right, most of the people might have left this point. They try to come up as good as they can to look good on stage, but little did they know they are, being penalized. All right, attire, wear school uniform only. Additional accessories are not allowed, as I mentioned to you just now, not compulsory to hide the school badge. All right, I want to explain a little bit about attire. It doesn't matter what school uniform you wear, as long as it is your school uniform. Most of the people will try to get, afraid if I'm not, looking good on stage, I'll not get the attentions of the judges. That's wrong, because last year itself, one of the school and from Johor, which went to the top 5 for national level, they do not have any coach or so to wear your school uniform doesn't give you extra to wear good doesn't give you extra point for your performance. We'll judge you based on the performance itself. Movement should only enhance and not dominate the performance. Some of the team came up with a lot of movement that we are looking at the dancing and not the chorus speaking. All right. Voice, articulate clearly and avoid shouting when speaking. This is very important. When you try to speak, when you try to deliver a point, when it comes to chorus speaking, articulations is very important. So make sure you say the words clearly, not slurring, not dragging the words, so that the judge will be able to listen to you and give you good marks. Singing. Any inclusions of singing should only enhance and not dominate the performance. Like say, for example, if you have 4 to 6 minutes performance, you take like 3 minutes of the performance singing and only 3 minutes for you to speak. That's not the way. So singing should enhance and not dominate the whole performance. And of course, when it comes to enhance, like what I said and discussed with Mr. Fuad, and this is actually a very good topic. So enhance meaning to say that it has to be good. So you have to be able to come up with a good song if you are trying to include the song in the short song in your chorus speaking. It is advised not to include any singing in the performance. Tips for teachers. So I pass to Mr. Fuad.
All right, thank you. Now I would like to continue about the tips for teachers or trainers to train choral speaking. Okay, when forming a team, a choral speaking trainer should look at 3 things. Number 1 is pronunciation. Number 2, voice types. And number 3, facial expression. Okay, now let us focus on the first one, which is pronunciation. A good choral speaker must be able to pronounce the word correctly. So when a choral speaking trainer would like to find a participant, it is advisable for you to find speakers who are able to pronounce words correctly. Wrong pronunciation, which are already fossilized, will be very difficult to change later on. So this obviously happen in secondary school because they are more adult if compared to the ones in primary school. Next is voice. So try to find speakers with different voice types. A variety of voice types will make the choral speaking performance richer and more dynamic. It can also enhance certain effects that is needed in the recitation. And lastly, facial expression. Facial expression helps make the presentation believable. However, facial expression is teachable. You can teach our speakers to express their facial expression. However, if they can express it naturally, it would be much better. Okay, now we are going to talk about the placement of speakers in a choral speaking team. As we know in a concept paper, for this year it is stated that all choral speakers must be in 3 tiers. Okay, so when you are putting your speakers in tiers, try to think carefully as it does affect the performance. It is best to arrange speakers according to their voice types or vocal range rather than their height. It will be easier for teachers to give lines to speakers later on. Okay, now there are 2 ways on how you can place your speakers. Number 1, you either do it horizontally, and number 2, you either do it vertically. Once the placement that you have chosen, whether horizontally or vertically, then the movement and formation in the presentation will come naturally. Okay, now we are going to look at the example over here. Okay, over here there are 3 tiers. Tier number 1, we have a higher vocal range, where tier number 2, we have an average vocal range, and tier 3 with deeper vocal range. So basically, when we want to give lines to the first tier, so we know that the sound that is produced when it is presented, that it will only be the ones with the higher vocal range. And for example, let's say we have 2 lines. We would like the first line to be said by the first tier and the second line to be said by the third tier. Then you will have, a combination of higher vocal range and a deeper vocal range at the same time, right? Next, we have here a vertical placement. Instead of just now, we got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Now we have we separated into 3 sections: left, middle, and the right part. So in the left part here, we have an average vocal range. The middle part with high vocal range, and on the right part with the deeper vocal range. So again, when you give lines, for example, the first line is spoken by the ones in the middle, so you know it is a bit higher. And when you pass it to the right, it will be a little bit deeper. So as the lines goes on, then you have automatically you have the lines, the movement of the speakers throughout the whole presentation. All right. And after that, then you can choose the solo speakers. It is advisable that when you choose solo speakers, it must be separated. They should not be standing next to each other, because if the speakers were to stand next to each other, then what would happen? We will not see the movement flowing nicely in the performance. However, as the title goes, choral speaking, solo parts should be limited and not dominate the whole performance, because if not, it will not be choral. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.